on, everybody. Here we go!
You're mad.
Thank goodness for that, because if I wasn't, this would probably never work.
No offense, but I don't play well with others. Big man in a suit of armor. Take that away. What are you? Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
You stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Time travel commencing in T-minus 10 seconds and counting.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
Welcome to the Disney Guys Uncensored, where we explore a lot more than just Disney. This episode 104, recorded on March 15th, 2021. We're your hosts, Drew, Bob, Tim, and Jordana. The gang is all back in action. On tonight's Ides of March, beware, edition of this show, we have a smorgasbord of news, listener mails, and after a very long wait, we finally present our personal, unpopular opinions of Disney movies, food, and theme parks. Tim, take us away on who is sponsoring this amazing episode.
As always, this episode is sponsored by Wish Upon Magic, an Etsy shop specializing in stickers, keychains, Mickey ears, and handmade fluffy home goods, where a portion of every purchase goes to the Make-A-Wish Foundation to help spread that Disney magic around. Make sure you mention the Disney Guys Uncensored in the notes section when you order from their Etsy store website to get a magical extra with every order. Wish Upon a Magic, your place for fluffy handmade home goods, keychains, and awesome stickers. Give them a follow on Instagram at Wish Upon Magic, Etsy, and their website, www.wishuponmagic.com, where you can find magical new selections each week. Make sure you're checking it each week. That stuff sells out fast, and a lot of their new designs are awesome. I got to get an order together and get it in there soon. Need some new stickers for some laptops and equipment around my new office.
Absolutely, Tim. I got my order in, and they are magical. They are awesome, and they're waterproof. That's my favorite. You can throw them in the, dishwasher or wash them, and they don't have to worry about them.
Drew, are your stickers fluffy, as promised?
Well, I don't know if the stickers are fluffy, but
I think that's the home goods, the pillows, the plushes.
Good.
Fluffy handmade items.
Good.
Well, Bob, how about Avatar taking over the box office crown?
On this show, we took a very serious approach last week when discussing controversies head on. If only this had been here last week, because I have some issues with this. Ooh. And it's fine. From now on, I want this to be the rule. Your initial theatrical run is what your box office total is. This is horse shit. You know it. I know it. Jordan Dim knows it, because Avengers will re-release at some point and go over this. And how many times are we going to do this? It's ridiculous. I'm off of it. I think it's terrible, but great for James Cameron and company.
Good James Cameron fan. Maybe this is a little, trying to get the hype back up and get the talk in the media.
That's my hope, because they finished filming. Like Cameron said, principal photography is wrapped. There's reshoots and post-production effects filming and stuff, but the main film is in the can. So hopefully, fingers crossed, only after a 10-year delay, we're headed towards the second film in this series. So hopefully this is to hype up the international crowds for a film that was already a phenomenon in the U.S.
We can only hope. And side note, if you are following the Amazon Prime series, Lord of the Rings just wrapped up their first 2 episodes filming, and they actually showed it to a lot of the actors and some of the other cast, and they hated it so much that they're actually going back and reshooting. So if there was ever a cursed production, this is it, folks. Hopefully we'll see it someday. Bob, across the, not pond, but maybe across the country, Disneyland, what's going on?
Well, we got a late April reopening. They were, I guess, allegedly, Gavin Newsom out there said that theme parks could open the first April 5th, I want to say.
Yeah.
And Disney's going to wait until, I think, the end of April. At least that's the intention right now, to get the park kind of up and running. No, we're not capacity yet, though, that I saw. I would assume it's probably going to be very limited capacity
They said
at first.
similar to Florida, like the guidelines and stuff. And they also said no max pass, no fast pass, no nighttime, no parade. So we're looking at a very similar experience to what we've been rocking and rolling with in Florida.
Yeah. Excuse my ignorance, but what the hell have they been doing for the last 12 months?
Well, I think California's a different animal than a lot of the other places. They were completely shut down.
No, also Bob Chapek said they need to recall over 40,000 employees.
I mean, that's fair. I'll give you that. But as far as being prepared, they should have had time to at least be prepared for when the switch.
I think we saw a while back they had the dividers up and everything at Disneyland already.
Correct, but that's a fair point. I didn't think about that. The staff it's going to take more than 3 weeks to get everyone back.
But Drew, it's funny.
And just to retrain them on, hey, these are the procedures. These are like what you have to tell guests as they come in. Make sure they have their masks over their nose and stuff like that.
At this point, they've been furloughed for an entire year, which means some of these people, got different jobs. So they need to rehire some of those positions as well.
Drew, it's interesting. You did mention across the pond. They're not so lucky over in Disneyland Paris, though.
That's correct.
Because that closure, I guess, got extended and or reclosed. The reclosure got extended. Tim, I know you followed a little more than I do, or at least you posted it, I think. So
a while back, if you remember, back in the winter when numbers really dipped down dramatically in Europe, they kind of had a false hope. Disneyland Paris reopened with the same guidelines as the Asian parks in Florida, and then we saw the massive third surge over in Europe. And unlike here, where we are having a great, unprecedented success with the vaccine rollout as a country, we're way ahead of schedule on that, and watching our numbers dramatically drop, Europe, things are getting worse and worse, and one of the vaccines available over there is very controversial. A lot of EU nations don't want to use it. So out of an overabundance of caution, Disney is continuing to keep the Paris park closed. If you remember, it's been closed since late January, and now it was scheduled to reopen in April, and now it's going to continue staying closed until further notice. So hopefully they can get their situation under control and get back to the magic over there as well.
Speaking of closed until further notice, I find it hard to believe that Ratatouille is not going to open until October 1st in Epcot. And it's an interesting segue because we go from Disneyland Paris to France here at Epcot. What am I missing with this? That this isn't going to open until October 1st?
They just want something.
The reason they're doing it October 1st is just to get something else to do to get people out of the Magic Kingdom.
But no one's going to go to Epcot for Ratatouille if they have passes at Magic Kingdom on the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom. I guess if you're going there and you can't get into Magic Kingdom, I guess this is you go to Epcot. But where else are you going to go?
The only thing I could think of, Bub, is maybe some of the construction portions will be wrapping up, and I don't mean that they're going to be done with Epcot, but I mean that maybe the major demolition will be done in Epcot by then, and maybe they're trying to keep some of the people out of the parks by that. You know what I'm saying? So if they were to open, let's say May 1st, and they're still doing a lot of construction, demolition, they don't want this park at capacity yet. Just a thought.
I mean, I think you guys are singing the praises of this ride way too high, but maybe it's me. Maybe I'm underselling.
I don't think it's that big a deal. I mean, I think it's a big deal. It's the first of the new Epcot rides, but I think it's just they want something, and it's an easy thing to do because that ride is definitely done. I mean, the freaking pavilion around it has been open since early January.
But the creperie is not going to open either. I heard that the restaurant, the new creperie cafe, was not going to open until October 1st.
That's wild.
Which is crazy because that's money. I mean, that's just printing money if you had that open. Incredible.
Especially because it's the new ice cream stand store, the gelato store. That's already open, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, you were down there, Tim. You tell me.
It was all built. They just had the construction walls around it. I think the week after we got back, they said it was opening.
Now, do you think it's going to cause too much traffic right over there, being right next to International Gateway? And just it's a spacing issue, and they don't want to cause too much with the Skyliner being right there. It's
I got to ask the question: in the grand scheme of A to E ticket, what are you guys projecting this ride to be at?
I just think we haven't had any newer rides like this in a while. I think it's a family ride. People are going to go to it.
What? I mean, it's literally a clone, and I understand that no one here, for the most part, has gone to Paris to ride it.
It's just a brand new ride for people. I don't disagree with you, Bob, that this is not a big attraction, but you've seen Disney fans. This is what they want. I think
here's my thing about this ride. Like, it is the trackless dark ride, but it was the first one for Disney. So, like, if you've experienced Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, this is going to be kind of a letdown. It's shorter. It's all screens instead of a combination of screens and practical effect. I mean, there are practical things, but they're just like ways of camouflaging screens. It's way closer to a trackless Toy Story Mania than a Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway or Pooh's Honey Hunt.
Right.
You know, it's just, I don't know.
New.
I don't think this will live up to the hype.
Puts asses at the seat, as we like to say. It's done.
Yeah.
I just don't see it being this blockbuster attraction that you guys think it is, but maybe I could be wrong.
I agree, Bob. It's not. I just think that people always seem to overreact when it comes to stuff like this. So I don't disagree. It's a medium to lower tier attraction.
Oh, it was like a C plus, like a D, like is a C ticket a D? Like what are we?
I'd see. I'd put it right at the middle.
I mean, it's a 3 hour plus wait when this ride opens, opening day.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's easy. I mean, because it'll probably break down for three and a half hours. So. Even though they have one in Paris.
It's going to end up being like Frozen, where it, like, you know, Frozen to this day still has a 45 to 50-minute ride.
But
because
if you
something
ask
else for the kids to
10
do.
kids, do you know what Frozen is? Yes. 10 kids, you know what Ratatouille is. It's not going to be 10
We should take this to the streets. We should do man on the street, Drew walking around to random people saying, hey, can I talk to your kids for a second?
What is that? Like Jimmy Kimmel does that?
Yeah,
I could do that.
So the real question I have, and related to this before we move on to the Magic Mobile update, which I find fascinating. What opens first, Space 220 or Ratatouille? We know Ratatouille is opening October 1st.
Ratatouille.
We still don't have a date for Space 220.
You know, it's funny because...
Do they even have a chef yet?
It's funny, Bob. Next week, we will be celebrating our 2-year anniversary. And
thank you. What are you getting?
Nothing. But my point is, I think...
anniversary gift. What is it? Does anybody know?
I have to do some research. I have no idea.
Paper, wood.
Oh, good. I expect a plank.
My point is that Space 220 was one of their original reported news
one of the first things they were building it. Yes, yep. Yeah, incredible. So also incredible, the Magic Mobile phone update. Now, it will be coming to Apple devices first before it does roll out to Androids and whatever else you people are using out there. I don't know, Tizens. I don't know what you're doing. But
Tizens?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think it's a television brand. I think it is actually like a streaming platform for televisions. I think it's something Samsung uses. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Don't call me on these things. So this, to me, reads a lot like what Genie was going to be, Drew.
I'm not... I'm not a huge fan of the name, to be honest.
Magic Mobile?
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
No, it sounds like something like you'd use on like a Goosebumps movie or something, or like a young adult novel. Their phone can be Magic Mobile.
Do you agree this has to be the Genie app that they were talking about for the last 2 years, right? They introduced at D23 or whatever the hell it was.
I don't know, because there's it seems like it's going to do the same functions.
I think it turns into that. I don't think this reaches any of the stuff they promised yet. The intelligent day planning, all that stuff. I think this is just a way to transition to the being able to use that phone to tap in on rides and fast passes and stuff.
It is going to have watch capability as well.
I mean, so it's
was my number one watch
thing. As Magic My Disney Experience app. I mean, I really don't understand the big difference between now you can scan stuff through it.
Yeah,
that's really the big update that we are seeing.
Right, yes. And so there were people in the tech department when they announced Genie that begged them to not announce Genie yet because they were nowhere near ready to release it. And we know Disney's track record with tech is not particularly good. So it is very interesting to me. Keep your eye on it. That's supposed to launch later this year, I think we heard.
They did.
I think towards October, like towards the 50th. Is that kind of the time frame here for that?
Yep. That's fair. Yep.
And now we're on to the Polynesian room refurbs. Me and Tim and I gave you our updates or our feelings on it very quickly last week with good friend Chris Lucas. Jordana and Drew were not here to talk us off the ledge and tell us that they're good. So, boys, girls, Drew, Jordana,
yours, ladies first.
Take it away and tell us why me and Tim are wrong for not liking this refurb.
I like it. I don't know. I think it's cute. I think that if you look at the movie Moana, you see it's all outside. It's all in this tropical paradise, you know. So I think that it makes sense to put it there. However, I understand the tacky feelings and stuff like that. But I like the touches, like they put Hey Hey near the coffee maker and like the floor pattern.
Large on the wall, by the way, just so we're clear.
You're going to wake up to him. That's a little scary. But I don't know. I like it. I don't think it's too much, honestly. I know a lot of people said it was too much, but...
Way to play both sides of the fence, Jordana. Drew, what about you?
I'm honestly indifferent. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's kind of exactly what I thought it was. I didn't think it was going to be minimal. I knew they'd be bam right in your face. We all know that the Poly needed an update, and they decided to bring in their IPs, which I've been pushing for years. So I can't be angry. But no, I'm not saying like, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I'm 100% staying at the Polynesian now because of Moana. I don't think anybody is saying that. And if they are, they must really love Moana.
Tim,
it's fine.
Tim.
I remain unconvinced.
Me too. They did not do a good job.
I do think that I don't know if there was ever a doubt of a family to maybe spend a little bit more. Now maybe that might incentivize them because they say, well, my kids really like Moana, whereas before my kids are going to come to this resort and say, I don't really feel like I'm at a Disney, because when a kid thinks Disney, they think of Disney characters. So, Tim, to your point, who used to love the Polynesian, you probably will now see more families going to the Polynesian versus more than just adults. And Jordana, as a travel agent, will probably see a lot more bookings as a family. It's another character IP hotel on the list that now is there. That's my personal take on it. So from Disney point of view, they wanted more families at the Polynesian for whatever hell reason they have, and I think that's what it's going to do.
So do we have a count on the rooms that are they doing all of the rooms this way? Because if you're going to sell me on the fact that the Caribbean has the pirate rooms and Port Orleans has the Princess Tiana rooms, and they're only certain parts of the resort, then I'm fine with it. And if the Moana rooms are going to be an option for you to stay at, and they're going to do an updated look at Polynesian culture in that maybe closer to what Kelly Griffin had said online last week was more in line with Aulani, then I would not be nearly as against it as I am right now.
It's all the non-DVC rooms, only because the DVC rooms were redone in the last 5 years, I want to say.
The entire hotel, basically.
Yes. Basically, any room that you are booking as a person paying cash and not jumping through a lot of hoops, you will get a Moana room. Maybe it's not going to be all immediate, but the goal is that all the rooms will look like the room we were shown 2 weeks ago.
Do you think we see an update to the Ohana breakfast character dine-in?
Yes.
With now getting rid of Lilo and Stitch, and now bringing in Moana and Maui.
No, I think keeping them and also just bringing in Moana and Maui.
You can't get rid of Stitch at that breakfast.
I don't disagree, but I don't disagree, Tim. I'm just curious on if we see those characters somehow involved, and maybe it's a lunch. I don't know, but is it something?
Yeah. They're going to be involved in some way, whether it be like some sort of meet and greet or what, like, even if like right now you go to, I think it's like Beach Club or Grand Floridian, and Goofy and Pluto are there just like waving to everybody and welcoming people. I think it's going to be something like that at first, and then they'll be integrated into character meals.
I think also you're going to see, because Moana's a face character, you're going to see her on the beach, and the pool there, because the Polynesian is formerly was so adults oriented, they do a midday big entertainment thing for the kids at the pool where you can, sign your kids up. And I think you'll see her integrated into that as well.
I just have one question. I don't want to carry on with this one any longer, but, and let me preface this with, I love the movie. Mm-hmm. Are we sure this is an evergreen property? Are we positive this is an and don't tell me in the immediacy of right now, I understand that it is. In 5 or 6 years, is this going to have the same cultural significance as a movie like Beauty and the Beast, which is considered timeless by a lot of people, Aladdin, Little Mermaid? I just don't see it.
I mean, I think it's bigger than Lilo and Stitch, to be honest. I know Stitch is a favorite character, but from a movie,
I would say Stitch is a much more popular character than any of the characters in that film.
I agree. We do know the Moana TV show is coming to Disney Plus, which makes me believe maybe is Moana 2 in the works. I don't know. I'm just talking out loud.
So we need to create an Icelandic hotel or a Norwegian hotel and just make it a Frozen resort.
I'm in for that.
That's where the money would be.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, Disney thinks this has some staying power. They're building a Moana attraction at Epcot as we speak. So,
well, I think attractions.
There's something we don't know about Moana. Yeah. It has to be.
Anyway, so you guys did not sell me on staying there, but I do appreciate your candor on it. Tim, you're very excited about this. At their earnings call, whatever it was a week ago, Bob Chapek, good friend of the show, said the college program might be coming back by the end of 2021.
Yeah,
he's hopeful that it does.
Very hopeful. But I mean, that all depends on. Good news
for you, Tim. Well, not for you personally, but you'd be excited about it.
Yeah, it's a great program. It brings a lot of different experience to Disney, and it gives them a lot of cheap labor so they can get the staffing back up to where it needs to be without paying those actual salaries.
Going to need that apparently next week for spring break for the next 6 weeks. Apparently, it's going to be loaded down there, which is crazy.
Jordana, do you have any clients who are down there right now?
I do. I have one, and it's their first time to Disney too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I kind of had to just do like a, hey, forewarning, you're not getting into Hollywood Studios because you just booked last minute and they're already booked. And, but yeah, no, I know personally that Pop Century is at 100%. The tower, the Gran Destino Tower at Coronado is at 100% right now. That we've just heard client horror stories, unfortunately, that they were putting people in rooms that weren't ready, that they didn't think they were going to sell. So like the rooms with like a broken AC or, things that needed to be fixed, they were putting people there and it ended up getting upgraded. But
which is a good follow-up for you, Jordana. When are we ever going to get Port Orleans open up again? Because I feel like both of those resorts are people eaters. I know that French Quarter is small. Yeah. Port Orleans Riverside and Port Orleans French Quarter combined, if we're combining as one resort, is the largest resort on property, room count wise. How is that resort not open yet?
I was just talking about this because I think that Disney is going to look at this situation and be like, wow, we're filling up. Like, we need to open more resorts. And I think the next one to open, honestly, is probably going to be another Value. So probably one of the All-Stars.
Well, that's another thing. The All-Stars. I mean, these are people eaters, these resorts. They're made for this. It would
be one of the French Quarters.
So for better or worse, the numbers for COVID are dropping in the United States. The vaccine numbers are going up. And the TSA put out statistics today that they are processing 1.3 million travelers a day. That has not been at that level since this all started. Right. And Disney, I heard a rumor right before we went live that Disney has supposedly already started internal discussions because there's not anything holding them back in Florida. They could be operating 100% if they wanted to about bumping again because they are just at capacity. I heard horror stories from people we know that if you switch your park pass because people don't know any better and you've kind of been able to do that they're switching out of a Hollywood Studios or a Magic Kingdom park pass and then finding literally no other park pass available when they try, there's nothing available and they can't switch back. And now they just had a day disappear. So crazy stuff happening right now.
Question for a topic for another day. We're getting lengthy here, but is Disney getting too complicated right now, specifically for people like you just said, first time visitors? Because I think it's getting overwhelming for people with no fast passes, booking day tickets, no really park hoppers, kind of there's half park hopper. You know what I'm saying? Is it right now too complicated?
Yeah, it's a lot to navigate, especially as a first time visitor. It's a lot to explain. It's a lot to learn. And it's almost like, at what point does this vacation start to feel like a vacation and not like, you have to learn how to navigate all this stuff. Yeah. I think that something's got to happen. It's, something's got to change, whether it be opening more hotels, bringing fast passes back, or like spreading out capacity somehow. But obviously when you get these high weeks, like this is their first high week since everything happened was spring break. So, and you have people who canceled last spring break and are going now instead. It's a lot for them, and I don't think Disney was prepared.
Yeah, I hear you. Sorry to rail bump. Bring us back on track.
Drew, you, sir, were a sucker.
Not a sucker. I was a smart man. I did. This is the first time that's not true. Maybe the second time I've ever did the pre-release or special premiere purchasing of a film that got released.
You did
it for Trolls.
Trolls,
Right.
Right.
So I did. I paid the $30, folks. I went and I bought Raya and the Last Dragon. It was worth every damn penny. I watched it 5 times so far, mostly due to my kids, but I think 2 of them I sat down from start to finish and watched. Spoiler free, really quick, 30 seconds. Absolutely loved the storytelling. It was, I went into this movie not knowing too much about it, and it's fantastic. The art style is amazing. The characters are fun and a little unique, but very memorable, I guess you could say. And it's just great. I think the voice acting was fantastic. And again, I can't stress enough how much I loved the storytelling of it itself. It's definitely felt like an all-time Disney classic, and it was well done from start to finish. Recommend it more.
More Onward, less Soul.
I guess what you could say a comparison, like you said, nothing against Soul, just they're very different, right?
No, you just didn't like Soul.
I did not like it. It just wasn't for me. I enjoyed it. It was fine.
Well, that's an interesting segue because Soul, Mulan, Onward, Burrow, which was actually a really cute short that came out last year, and then Drew, the one and only Ivan. They all received Academy Award nominations.
That's a great sleeper, folks. If you have not seen this was a made for Disney Plus film. It's fantastic. But who's the guy? It's
It's Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston. That's what I thought. I didn't want to say
you love Bryan Cranston.
I didn't want to say. I wasn't sure. It's just fantastic. It's a fun little love story. It's great.
So those are your Disney nominated films for the Academy Awards that are later this year. Jordana, we got an email this week. Take it away.
Yeah, we did. So, good friend. Well, first of all, our listener emails are presented by Patreon. Please visit our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/The Disney Guys Uncensored for more information on how to get into our Discord chat, how to come and join in on the fun and talk all that, and support our show. So, a good friend of the show, Michael Mancher, who has been on our show. He is from Canada, and he wants to know how we feel about the reports that Disney will be closing the Canadian branches of the Disney Store. And at a larger point, rumors are out there that the Disney Store proper will be phased out and replaced by the Target locations. So what do you guys think about all of this? I know that they started doing that here. I mean, we've been without a Disney Store since what, 2010? When was
longer than that? I want to say.
When was the flood? In
do you know?
I want to say the flood was around 2010. She's not wrong. It might have been a few years before that, but it was in that neighborhood. So we lost our
local Disney. I mean, we have 0 stores in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, there's literally one like 28 minutes away.
Stop that. That is 28 minutes away. It's like an hour.
You need to pack a lunch. You need to pack a lunch to get there.
What's your thoughts here?
I guess. What do I care about it? I don't live in Canada.
Stop it.
No, I think we all knew this. I think Disney said this before. They were phasing out the stores again. They were going to focus on the satellite locations at Target. I think some of the flagship locations, I think New York might stay open. But really, this isn't anything new. They're migrating to Shop Disney, and I think that's what they're going to do. And I will tell you, Drew, we had the conversation today at work. Shop Disney, for all of its faults in the past, has been much better. I don't necessarily love the way they do some of the ticketing for the exclusive merchandise and stuff like that, where they get to get a ticket to get in line to almost buy something. But it is what it is. It's better than going to stand at the store and then getting there and it not being there. So ultimately, if it's going to migrate to Shop Disney and they're going to expand the experience at Target, then so be it. It's going to be more cost effective to use somebody else's storefront anyway.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm a little bitter. because we played in the pre-show a little game called Two Truths and a Lie, folks. And here's the truth. I actually applied for a job at the Disney store in high school, and I did not get it. I was very upset. I couldn't even get a job at the Disney store, and I had to resort to GameStop for that Christmas holiday season.
Yeah.
And that put a bitter taste in my mouth. So I'm not a fan of the Disney stores now.
Do you guys know Drew sold me my first cell phone?
Really?
I was in college. That moved up into T-Mobile world.
Yeah, he sold me a Motorola Razr.
A lot of interesting jobs in my day.
What color did you?
Silver, classic.
I tried to sell the Sidekick. He didn't budge.
No, the Sidekick. Get out of here. I would make a joke here, but I feel like it'd be off color if I did.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I mean, it's a valid question, especially up in Canada. You know, I know you mentioned, you're far from the parts. Simple as that. And some of you guys can look at the Disney store as kind of a little escape on a weekend getaway. And, if you're going to the mall or whatnot.
I mean, I gotta be honest with you. If it was the classic Disney store with the teal and purple design with Plush Mountain in the back with the movie screen and the big moquettes, fine. I hate the new Disney store anyway. I hate the new look of them. It's very industrial. I don't like them. Maybe in Canada they're different. I don't know. They're usually 5, 6, 8 years behind us in terms of evolutions of things. So maybe they're still different up there. But the Disney stores we had around here were trash anyway. So
I really feel.
Yeah,
no, we're going to do a whole episode on the Disney store.
I was just saying, watch this space if you want more on this topic.
Yeah. We're going to do a whole episode on the Disney store. It's going to be great. Yeah. I can't wait.
All right. Well, thank you, Jordana, for that question there. Thank you, Michael, for submitting that. So let's get on to finally unpopular opinions, folks. Here we go tonight. We have, I don't know, maybe 8, 10, 12 categories.
I don't even know what this means, guys. I'll be honest.
Unpopular categories, again, to reemphasize, it's pretty much something that we either love or hate. But it kind of goes against the popular opinion, right? So it's what's the average Joe says, for example, let's say they love Cinderella's Castle. If I, for one reason, hated Cinderella's Castle, that would be an unpopular opinion. I love Cinderella's Castle. I don't hate it. That's not my point. That was an example. So we're going to start off around the horn, and we're going to go with the first category of Disney live action films. And the man that loves Disney live action films the most, Tim, why don't you lead us off?
It's funny you say that, because my unpopular opinion is specifically about the live action remakes from the last couple of years. And if you don't enjoy them, that's fine. Disney's going to keep making them. And guess what? They're not for you. They're a way to introduce a new generation to those IPs without having to pay royalties to the people they need to for the last generation. And the big one is to repackage them in a way that is more appealing to the cultural sensitivities of emerging markets, namely China and India.
Almost.
Yeah,
like
I don't have that.
Down,
I don't have that backup for this, but my first one was, the live action remakes are kind of okay. If you don't like them, don't watch them. Like who? I can't stress enough that they don't release live action Beauty and the Beast and then take away. Well, you never know nowadays, but they don't take away the animated version of Beauty and the Beast because of it. Go watch that one then. Jay, go watch animated Mulan. No one's asking you to watch the live action one.
Oh, right, Jordana, what do you got there?
So I think we can all agree that like live action films aren't popular in general. So if someone asks you what's your favorite Disney film, most people are going to say Beauty and the Beast, not live action Beauty and the Beast. So
fair.
That's
However, Jungle Book, I might say the live action is better than the animated.
That's not an unpopular opinion. Not on this show anyway.
But I will say that I absolutely loved the live action of Aladdin, and I liked that it kind of shared Jasmine's side of it a little bit more. Like
a little bit. Yeah.
She had a little bit more character development in this one.
Mm-hmm. So, I also enjoyed it. So
I will say that I don't know if that's really a super unpopular opinion. But
it's close, Jordana, because not a lot of people, I personally, like you're saying, really enjoyed her journey in the movie. But there were some people that didn't necessarily love the idea of changing Aladdin like they did.
No.
Yep, I agree. I'm going to go a little throwback here, and I'm not talking about a live action remake. I'm going to talk more about live action for Disney in general. Guys, I don't like Mary Poppins. I just don't like it. I don't like the story. I don't like the remake. Just not a fan of the story. Simple as that.
Oh, the first one's great. I love the first one. I don't think I've ever seen the second one beginning to end with Emily Blunt. I don't know, but I love the first one with Dick Van Dyke.
I like the way it's portrayed in Saving Mr. Banks a little bit better than the actual one.
Tim wouldn't know.
Tim would not know. Tim would not know
My
that.
favorites.
Yeah, so Mary Poppins, not a fan.
So I have one on my list, and I don't know if it's even unpopular. I think we might all agree. Disney sucks at making original live-action movies. Look no further than Nutcracker in the Four Realms.
95% of the time.
Wrinkle in Time was trash. Percy Jackson, the series they have.
Bridge of the Terabithia.
Bridge of Terabithia was fine, whatever. But the Chronicles of Narnia, the Narnia series sucked. Tomorrowland is trash. They haven't made a legitimate original live action movie. And don't give me Pirates. It's based on one of their rides. I guess that's as close as we've gotten. But they haven't made a legit non-IP related live action film that's any good in decades. And that is a fact.
Let's rephrase it. That's been like we just talked about Ivan. It wasn't blowing people away. It was fine. It was cute. But I agree, Bob. Like I'm talking about blockbuster live action.
But even the one and only Ivan wasn't
it was fine. It
original content. I mean, that's a book. It's a children's book.
It's all.
So here's the thing. Okay, let's go down the list. John Carter of Mars sucks.
I like John Carter.
The Lone Ranger sucks.
One of the biggest financial disasters in film history.
I mean, these movies are garbage. Complete garbage. I digress. Anyone else?
That's another topic for another day. All right.
Yeah, I don't think that's particularly unpopular. I just think people don't think about it because they think about the IP-based stuff and the remakes, which are financial mega hits, and don't think that the original live action is trash.
And I will stand by that. Fine, they can make a Star Wars movie and a Marvel movie all they want. They cannot make an original live action movie. It sucks. And I will tell you, my last one for live action movies is Tombstone is the best live action Disney movie of all time. And yes, it's better than Mary Poppins.
Never seen it.
That's not saying much for me.
No, not much for you, Drew. So.
All right. Anyone have anything else here for live action? Or we're going to move on to Disney animated films. Why don't we leave off with Jordana this time?
So I only have one for this one. And I just want to say that Meet the Robinsons doesn't get the attention that it deserves. It is a phenomenal movie.
I'll tell you what. I was looking at the Disney D23 Dinosaur vs. Dragon bracket. Tiny did not get the recognition. I think he lost to, I want to say Rets, but understandable.
Tiny's solid. I like Tiny. Tiny's solid.
Tiny, I'm going to have to look it up while we're talking, but he lost to somebody I was not happy about.
Little bowler hat. I like Tiny.
Yeah.
He's got a big head and little arms. You're just not sure how all this
stuck in the
plan
corner.
was thought through. Yeah.
I'll go next. I have two. So on the dinosaur topic there, let's go with, I actually enjoy the dinosaur film with Aladar based off the attraction at Animal Kingdom. Dinosaur.
That makes more sense.
I still think the attraction should just be called Countdown to Extinction still. But
nope. I enjoy, maybe that's my love for the ride as well, because I enjoy the movie. Tim, have you seen the movie?
Yeah, of course. Great movie.
Yeah, remember Tim wanted to give us his thesis on why it would have been better if some director that would have had, evolution involved or something, remember?
No, it's not evolution. It was supposed to be directed by Paul Verhoeven. The effects were supposed to be done by the guy who went on to make Jurassic Park's visual effects and won the Academy Award for it. And it was supposed to be extremely dark, possibly rated R, and about the futility of the choices we make in life because we all just die in the end regardless. That would have been a better movie.
Sounds like a sort of evolution to me, Tim.
And just to recap, Tiny did lose to Rets in the Elite Eight.
That's a fair
shocking.
Kind of expected. One of the most popular dinosaurs.
Lost to Arlo, though.
That's hit or miss.
That's a hit or miss. Anyway,
so I'm going to give you a 2-for-1 real quick.
Ready?
Fantasia kind of sucks.
I've been saying that for years.
Artistically speaking, it's brilliant. Fine, whatever. As a film, it sucks and blows, and you can add Alice in Wonderland to that list as well. Artistically, they're great films. They're incredible to look at. The stories, they're garbage.
I want Alice in Wonderland to be good every time I watch it, and it's kind of a letdown. I agree, Bob.
I'll give you the Alice story, but Fantasia, it doesn't have a story. It's just beautiful. It literally invents the concept of a music video. It's just groundbreaking, incredible, beautiful, moving.
Great animation, technically impressive. It sucks as a movie.
Tim, you can't sit there and watch that movie like
yes,
yes, he can.
I love that movie.
This is the guy that wanted to talk
That is
about
probably
Paul
my
Verhoeven
favorite.
remaking Dinosaur with evolutionary tales. Okay, clearly he watches Fantasia for the storyline.
Tim, what do you got?
All right. Well, I guess my favorite Disney animated film is of the classics is probably Fantasia.
It's unpopular.
That's probably unpopular on this show.
Yeah, I think that probably is very unpopular. All right, my real one though is Treasure Planet, and to a lesser extent Atlantis, because story-wise it's the worst movie. They're extremely underrated, and they were victims of when they were released and their marketing, where Disney was like, we got this princess demographic, we got the girls on lock, now we need the boys. Let's release these two movies and hammer home, these are the boys movies, these are for boys. And honestly, both are really good films. I think live action remakes of either of these films would kick ass and probably do really well. And Treasure Planet especially, like, it had such a cool aesthetic and was a retelling of a classic story, so that it had the familiarity with the source material for everybody, but was done in a really unique way with an amazing art style.
Problem is, remaking those live action would be big budget films.
Yeah.
Those wouldn't be cheap ones.
I don't think Mulan was cheap.
No, that's fair. How do you feel about that one, Ken? Let's move on back to Jordana. Do you have anything else here?
No, that was it. I think that's the one I wanted to kind of...
I'm going to shock the world then, and I'm going to say the original animated Lion King is overrated. I don't think it's as good as people say. I really don't.
Wow.
Can you expand? Like, in what way?
I mean, sure, the music's catchy, but take the music out of that, and I get the music is what makes the film. I don't know. It's not that great.
So if you're sitting down,
a shitty story.
If you're sitting down and you have two choices for a movie, you have Lion King, or you have the live action Lion King. Which one are you watching?
That one sucks too.
Well, actually, they're both animated. Jordana, please.
Please. You're not wrong there.
Excuse me.
That's probably animated, I guess, but Jonathan Taylor Thomas, big fan.
Okay. What's he doing with his life? Didn't he like go into recluse or something? Is he just kind of living his life somewhere as like an architect or something?
Famous for like 3 to 5 years, and then I would just go and hide him.
Yeah, well, it's midnight. You're not famous yet, so here we are. We're doing this podcast stuff.
Yeah, I like what you said there. You said yet. But what about you? Any last?
I got two more. One gut wrenching, one not so gut wrenching. I really think Oliver and Company has a great soundtrack that needs more recognition. Billy Joel, Bette Midler. It's really well done. Huey Lewis and the News is on. It's a very good little soundtrack.
Phil Collins, but I'll give it to you. That's fair.
And then Ping Bong's death.
Oh God. Is
the most gut-wrenching death in any Disney movie, including Ellie from Up. Okay? It is so significant. It is so representative of a child's imagination dying. It is the saddest death in any Disney movie. And I don't give a shit about Bambi's mother. Who cares? She sucks. Yeah, who cares?
I never really looked at it from that point of view, and thank you for bringing that to my attention, Bob.
Yeah, gut-wrenching.
But in a way, you're
maybe
pretty
it's
right.
not unpopular now. Maybe it's no one knows about it.
I think people overlook it. It was something that needed to be done at the time. So you kind of respect.
Oh, it's a plot device. No question about it. It's a plot device.
It's like Ellie. I was watching Up the other day. The whole Ellie thing.
Yeah,
that
she's
whole
a plot
first
device.
15 minutes of the film really isn't necessary.
Yeah.
Tim, what do you got?
So that's my other unpopular opinion, that the whole first 15 minutes of Up are why everybody thinks that's actually a good movie, and it gets all these accolades as being like this amazing animated film and where Pixar figured out how to really do those kind of like emotions. No, it's a cheap trick. They sucker you in with that first 15 minutes, pulling your heartstrings, and the rest of the movie just does not live up to it even close. It's not actually a great movie. You take the first 15 minutes out, it's like whatever.
Well, it's like watching the first 15 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. It's a great war movie, and then it kind of drags.
I will say that I took a life development class in college, and the first day we sat down and we watched the first 15 minutes of Up, and they were like, all right, this is life development. We're going to go through birth to death. Like, I was like, cool, I like this class. We're sitting here watching Disney.
I could not agree more with you. I feel like they made the film of Up And then they went back like, well, shit, it's only an hour long. We need to add it, make it a little bit longer. And what do? We're going to make this amazing art style Pixar, kid-friendly, adult-friendly. And don't get me wrong, it's well written, it's great. But it's like, doesn't really be needed for that film.
And Drew hates Doug, just so let the record show.
That's a fact.
That might be unpopular. That might be unpopular.
All right. Anyways, we've been on this one. You have any more? Is that it?
No, that was it. I only have two. I only have two for food and snacks, so that should be quick. Unless Tim and Jordana picked us up on that one.
I don't have.
I'm gonna make you angry with mine.
Let's move on to that food and snacks. Bob, lead us off.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse ice cream sandwiches are garbage.
What?
You talking
Mickey Mouse
about
ice cream bar very good. The ice cream sandwich garbage.
The sandwich, which is like more like the cookies and cream.
It's like the soft cookie with the cookies and cream ice cream. Garbage. No good. Get
those at Target now.
Yeah, they're not very good at Target either.
No, they're not as good.
What do you got on that?
I want to one up you. All the iconic snack, the Mickey pretzel, the Mickey ice cream bar. I don't feel comfortable because of my own lifestyle saying the turkey leg, but I assume the turkey leg all fucking suck.
The turkey leg
convinced you through 30 years of marketing that that's an integral part of the Magic Kingdom experience, and they have an amazing group of bakers who do all sorts of awesome cupcakes and sweets and cakes and ice cream and all sorts of stuff. You're wasting your money and your time to eat a Mickey pretzel.
It takes pennies. It's like popcorn. I'm gonna spend $30 on popcorn, even though it costs them 2 cents.
Get yourself a cupcake, a cookie, something other than that crap.
I will say popcorn's one of the best values on property, especially with the free refills or the dollar.
That's actually a very good point. It's one of the best values in entertainment.
It's a great snack to just get and just always have it in there on your stroller.
I think we have to give Jordana a moment, though, because we just crushed her dreams.
I want to know mine, okay? Because we're going to be fighting. The Mickey ice cream sandwich is 100% better than the Mickey ice cream bar.
You're out of your mind.
That's
the ice cream sandwich is garbage.
This is the first time this happened. I expect this happened sooner.
The ice cream sandwich is garbage.
No,
not nearly as good.
No,
the ice cream bar is delicious.
100% better.
You're
the
out of your
bars
mind.
Suck.
So one of us is right. One of us is wrong.
I was no. I said they both suck. I said they both suck.
So Tim is Switzerland.
Jordana, can you open up a poll tomorrow on social media on this?
Yeah.
We need a poll on
I'm screwed because all of our friends are in the Ohana. I have no friends. They hate me in the Ohana.
Hey, if you're my friend,
don't even say who said what until they listen. I guess they'll know.
If they listen to the episode, they're gonna know. I'm screwed.
Well, hopefully they'll vote before they listen.
Bob.
Oh, the ice cream sandwich
boy.
Garbage, Jordana.
Get out. Quit the show.
So this next one might upset. Yeah, Drew, go ahead.
I don't really have it. I don't really have much here. I threw a last one on here. I'm going to say my unpopular opinion more because people don't really know about. But I stand by, and I've pitched this place for years. Sebastian's Bistro at the Caribbean Beach Resort is one of the best hidden gem restaurants on property, and that is a fact.
He did.
It's going to do a lot of business, unfortunately, because no one freaking goes to that place, and it's not even open right now. But if it is, it's fantastic.
I mean, you gave us like 40 minutes on Sebastian's on your trip report when you went.
I went there 3 times.
Yeah, you loved it.
Went to the same restaurant Disney property 3 times. It's unimaginable.
You really like the rice.
2 of them were sit downs, but then one of them was like.
He did,
Jordana.
Okay, but I have another one that kind of goes with what Tim said, and this is going to be something that Drew's going to hate me for.
Oh, I hope I know where you're going.
The Dole Whip is kind of overrated.
Yes! Yes, it is! Jordana, it is!
No,
it's overrated. It's a good treat, but it's overrated.
Let me rephrase. I wouldn't wait in line for it, but that's why they have mobile ordering. But
Drew loves
just
that mobile
so
ordering.
refreshing. It's hot as balls in Adventureland, and there's nothing like getting a nice, cool, refreshing Dole Whip while you wait in line for Aladdin.
You know what else?
The citrus swirl is better than the Dole Whip. The citrus swirl is a better treat than the Dole Whip. That's a fact.
Would you say the Mickey ice cream sandwich is better than Dole Whip too?
No, I hate the Mickey crap.
Yeah, that's my go-to. That's my go-to snack.
Garbage.
That's like mind blowing.
Sorry. Here I am.
Well, that's it. There it is, folks. First time we fought on the episode.
Food and snacks?
No.
No? Okay.
I love Tim's take though that it's all garbage because he's not wrong. At the end of the day, it's all complete crap.
To clarify, I'm not saying it's all garbage. I'm saying Disney hits it out of the park with snacks, so you're wasting your time basically getting anything that's packaged and shaped like a Mickey.
I got to tell you that.
The turkey leg is not shaped like a Mickey.
All right, well, the turkey leg just
like an ostrich.
A turkey leg sucks no matter what. It's not real turkey meat. It's like
it's an ostrich. It's ostrich meat.
No, come on. This has been disproven a million times. But it's from like a freak steroid turkey. It's like an offensive lineman of the turkey.
The only time you get a turkey leg if you're visiting Chris Lucas at medieval times, or you're doing like a King Richard's fair, and you just do it because you just got to have a pint fair.
Or if you're 7 months pregnant and you go to Disney and you're craving a turkey leg.
But they're not good. You just
So now that we're going down this rabbit hole, that thing is huge. They weigh like multiple pounds.
Yeah,
right?
I gotta be honest. You could probably eat them. They're probably not real meat.
But who is eating? Like, who wants that much meat? Does anybody do you finish it? Do you share it with your family?
You see, that's time you go people watch. You have those guys just sitting on the bench, just
Tim. Tim, have you met with Family Guy, Tim?
Huh? I've seen Family Guy. Yes.
You familiar with Death from Family Guy?
Oh, he's classic.
There's an episode when he comes to dinner and they give him a drumstick. He slathers butter everywhere, dips it in his hood, comes back, just a bone. That's how Andrew eats a turkey leg at Disney World.
Only if I have a pint in the other hand.
All right, so Zoe's not biting off the turkey leg and then you're biting. Because that just seems
Zoe gets her own.
As well.
Zoe gets her own.
Zoe gets her own.
I don't get
That's how they do it at the Fusco house.
I get them when I go to my like a medieval fair or something. That's where you eat them.
Actually, that's true. You see Drew at King Richard's Fair. He walks around, one turkey leg in each hand. He gets a mead dispensing helmet.
Jokers, did you see that punishment?
Yeah, when he goes to the dating app and he goes to the speed dating and he has to eat it before he can leave. It's brilliant stuff.
All right, we lost control. Let's move on to our next category.
Yes,
world merchandise. And I'm going to upset a lot of people here, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go first.
All right.
Pins. They're not that great, guys. They're not that great. They're overrated. They're expensive. And then I just not for me.
Expensive hobby. I think I have to agree with you.
And it's kind of like you got to then chug them around. At least I will say, like, a lot of people like Tim and Bob do hang them up at home, so at least it turns into like an art piece at home, which I enjoy that. But I feel like while you're there in the parts, a lot of people will be trading them, and then they just trying to throw them in their drawer. That's what they do.
Yeah.
I think it's overrated.
I will tell you that I had something along that line, which is weird for me because I'm a big pin fan, but I actually have it on here that the Vinylmation figures, the little 3-inch Vinylmation figures, were a better little souvenir than pins were.
They tried.
Equally as useless.
Do you remember, Bob? They tried. They're fantastic. They did for a while. They just didn't take off. They had the little mystery guys, and they almost looked like, I'm talking like 1 inch big, and you got like 4 or 5 in a pack, and you were supposed to be able to trade those.
Oh, the minis.
Those were fantastic.
They were cool. Yeah,
my kids have a bunch of them.
I think some of the shops still might sell them, but
you were supposed to be able to trade those with people and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
Nothing quite like the pins did. The pins
you wear them. They're easy.
Olympic.
I don't know. What do you do with them?
Who did it first? The Olympics or Disney with pins?
Olympics.
The Olympics did it first, right?
That's what started the whole pin
Walt probably
thing.
stole the idea.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. He stole a lot of ideas. Not in a negative way, but
yeah.
Tim, what do you got?
So I think that having a new it color that they try to force down everybody's throat every month, it doesn't work, and it never has worked. They captured lightning in a bottle with the original rose gold collection years ago now. It's got to be like 5 years ago now. And they've just been chasing that high ever since. And this new one, iridescence, which isn't a color, it's a bad pun based on a concept, is them just totally jumping the shark. But what the hell is Imagineering orange? And nobody wants this shit. You see it, they clearance it out to the outlet every time. And the only ones that's successful are when they give a new color to one they've already released, like Briar Rose Gold. It's different than Rose Gold.
It's like mac and cheese orange for Crayola. It's just genius. Genius marketing. Bob, what do you got?
So I want to piggyback off Tim because if he's going to do that, I'm going to take a shot at what I consider the lowest common denominator of parks wear. And that's the people that walk around with these different color Spirit jerseys on. I hate Spirit jerseys. I think they're obnoxious. I don't. Why do you need more than one?
Well,
That's fitting.
I also hate how like they're not made for Florida heat. A lot of these things.
That is because I own one, and it's long sleeve,
Yeah.
and an extra heavy jersey. It's like a sweatshirt.
Yeah. It's a Spirit jersey, guys.
It's perfect for New England.
It's like the guy from Bring It On with the Spirit fingers. You think those are Spirit fingers? No, these are Spirit fingers. When people walk around with like a long sleeve, pullover on, they're like, you think that's a Spirit? The people suck. They're obnoxious about it. They've got a rainbow of them in their friggin' closets, and it drives me up a wall, and they're not that cool.
They're not cheap either.
No!
$70.
Jordana,
right.
what do you got?
Poor Jordana. She must feel attacked on this episode.
I am the one with the rainbow in my closet.
Yeah.
Enough to wear one to Disney
I
every
will say
single day.
that Hades one that came out a couple of months ago, that was...
So this is the problem. Some of them are pretty cool looking.
Oh,
but
I have a lot.
They are the lowest
That's
common
usually
denominator.
like my one big thing that I buy down there. My merch thing is Crocs are the best.
Oh, there we go.
At Disney.
Well, I'm not sure that's unpopular. I think Crocs are very popular.
Taking over the
Crocs
world.
are amazing. But the fact that they have the little Mickey touch, it's just chef's kiss.
Are you you add the little pin things, or are you more of the solid no hole thing?
Solid. No, I just like as they come. I think they're perfect. They air out your little feetsies.
You don't want to add like a little mini or something?
No, because I think they'll just fall off. I mean, I guess they don't, but like, what if you, I don't know.
Then you lose $3.
Stub your toe?
Tim,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Oh, no, I just had to ask Jordana, do you know there's a competing brand of foam shoe that is also now officially partnered with Disney? I think they're called nature shoes or natural shoes, but they look like almost like a Converse low top or a Ked, but
Yeah.
they're made out of like Crocs materials.
Yeah.
That's apparently the hot newness, but from what I've heard, extremely uncomfortable
No.
compared to a Croc.
Yeah,
Because they're trying to be fashionable.
It's enclosed around
Yes.
your ankle. So like if you're wearing those at the parks all day without socks or anything, you're going to end up with blisters all over your feetsies.
Yeah.
Can we just ask the question, why are Trots so much money? They can't be that much to make.
No, they're injection molded
But
foam.
they're like $35 or $40 a pair.
Yeah.
I mean, some
Yeah,
are
I
more.
don't know.
Some are more than that.
All right. Anyways, anyone have any other merchandise?
I do actually have one, which might get me thrown off the show.
All right.
Okay.
Out.
This is my goal. Comparatively to other high-end brands, which we're going to consider Disney a high-end brand, I don't think their merchandise is completely obscenely expensive, which it is. But comparatively to other quote-unquote brands and lifestyle logo brands, it's really not more than what you'd spend if you went to a department
I
store.
agree with that. I think when the new Run Disney shirts came out the other day, last month, I bought one. I think it was like $28 for like a licensed Disney
Yeah.
T-shirt.
But think about that. Think about the Nike golf shirt I have.
Sorry, $50 or $45.
A Nike golf shirt at Kohl's, like you're saying, $40-$50. There it was $60, but it had the Mickey Mouse logo on it. Okay, fine. I know what I'm paying for Mickey Mouse at that point. I understand. But I find it, and people complain, I think this is unpopular. I think comparatively to other, I don't think Disney's that expensive merchandise-wise.
I think their quality is on par with medium to high-end other things. I agree with that. That's a good one. All right. Anybody else? Any last chance merchandise? All right. Disney transportation. And let's be honest, I'm going to leave this off because we all know the answer. The water taxis can eat my ass. They are inefficient. They are slow.
They suck.
They drip water on you. You get sunburn. It's not a fun experience. And if you miss one, I feel like you have to wait forever for the next one. I don't like them.
So I will say that the last one I took while I was down there in January, the guy literally drove into the dock. So I'm pretty sure these people do not know how to drive these taxis either.
Feeds my fuel.
Yeah.
Tim, Bob.
If I have a choice between boats, buses, or monorails, I'm going boat every time.
I just don't.
I love to travel by boat. I don't know. I don't nearly have the issues with it that you do, Drew. We've disagreed on boat travel for a very long time on this show.
Well, I think you witnessed firsthand my issues with that boat that day.
Yeah, I just think it's you. I don't know that it was
Unlucky.
the boat's fault. I think it's
sunburn on
just-
one arm.
Are we specifically saying like the medium-sized boats that go between like Disney Springs and the resorts? Or are we talking also like the huge ferry that goes
any boat I can take on property, I'm taking it.
Because TTC ferry to the Magic Kingdom is just stone cold the most efficient. It fits like 9 times the people.
Yeah.
Anyways, what else do you guys got?
I will say this. I thought the minivan service was a good value despite its outrageous price line. I thought it was a great value, and I wish they brought it back.
I don't know if I'd say great, but I'd say it was fair.
When you have a son that protein shakes on your wife on Dumbo, and you got to get it is great value. It's well worth the money, and I want them to bring it back.
That's fair. I'll say I love buses. If you get rid of every other transportation, I'm a bus guy. I love the bus.
I'm a fan of the bus.
I love it. It's nostalgia. It's just like I love people watching. I love just getting on the freezing cold bus. There's everything about it. It's
like the freezing
fantastic.
cold bus.
And Bob and I have. I mean, even the bus drivers, I just seem like they're happy. And which bus driver do you know the world is a happy bus driver?
Not many.
Disney though,
they're all happy.
Yeah. So that's mine. The bus system is hands down the best transportation option on property, and you just don't like it because it's not glamorous, it's not unique, it's just a freaking bus like you have in every city in the country.
Love it.
I love the bus.
Yeah, I think people look down on the bus.
People do though.
The thing is, you constantly if somebody has read a Disney transportation article, it's shitting on the buses. Disney knows this. They keep upgrading the buses, adding chargers, adding Wi-Fi, adding ramps. Yeah. But what it comes down to is like if you shell out and you pay that fortune to stay at a monorail resort, guess what? That monorail gets you to Magic Kingdom right now because of the construction at Epcot. There's no Epcot monorail. And even when it gets to Epcot, you're still taking the bus even further to Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. It's just part of Disney life, and the bus is the only transportation system that gets you absolutely everywhere.
Haven't taken it yet, but I really feel like the Skyliner is the future.
That was
hands down.
Yeah, I think that's such an expandable concept for them.
It's funny. It's like we come full circle. Every amusement park in the country had a Skyliner, and they all went away because people thought they sucked or they were expensive. And now they're making a comeback, folks. It's coming full circle.
Yeah. Skyliner is great. It's the best transportation on property.
What's yours, Jordana? You're unpopular.
That was mine. Skyliner.
Okay. I don't think that's unpopular. I think once people do the Skyliner, if they're not afraid of moving fast high up, they're converts for life.
I think the reason that it's unpopular is because people are afraid of it and they don't give it a chance.
Right. Keep being afraid.
Well, its debut was a little rough. Let's be honest.
Is it though? I'm tired of that narrative too.
I'm tired of that
narrative.
Twice, right?
I'm sick and tired of these narratives that a brand new transportation system has a hiccup. They're learning their way. Yeah, it sucked. What about every other time that it worked? Like we only hear about the 4 times that it didn't work. Every time a monorail door falls off, it makes the evening news. But you don't hear about the 20 million passengers that it just transported across property for 14 fucking days. I'm sick of this narrative that anytime something breaks down, it's automatically trash. It's horse shit.
That's the internet for you. If someone took a shit tomorrow in Central Park, you bet your ass it'll be out there.
Yeah, everybody's shitting in Central Park.
Bob is right, though. Why, when the doors get stuck open on the Disney World monorail, does it make the nighttime news in New England?
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I can't. It's apparently that's a hot topic for me.
I think we hit a hot spot there with Bob. Let's move on.
I think so.
Disney Resort hotels.
Right.
Jordana, let's start it off with you.
Top Century is a fantastic resort.
Stop. It's not fantastic.
It is.
I don't disagree with that
one
statement.
of the best resorts on property. It's been upgraded. It's on the Skyliner line. And if you pay preferred, it's really not that bad. You get a really good option.
Well done. Well done. You stand your ground. You stand your ground.
Tim.
I will piggyback on that because mine is, at this point, moderate resorts absolutely are unjustifiable with the exception of Grand Destino Tower. They're too big. They require an internal bus system. And if you're going to Disney just to, for the parks and Disney Springs and all that, and you just want a room as a place to sleep, the values fit that bill so much better, especially now that they're completely have all been redone. Pop and Art of Animation, you have the Skyliner, which we all agree is the best transportation on property. And if you want a resort where the resort is an integral part of your Disney experience, you want to do resort days, you want access to those amazing pools, all the amenities, moderates don't even have a gym, then spring for a deluxe. That's what I do. I'll either pay the big bucks and go to a deluxe, or I will I'll stay at Pop every time.
Yeah.
I do not see the point in paying significantly more these days than a value to stay at Port Orleans or Caribbean Beach. It's not different enough to justify the cost difference, and you're not closer to any of the parks.
So I have a question on how many moderate resorts have you stayed at to make the statement?
Honestly, I have not stayed at very many.
Okay, then that's all you need to know about this conversation. Jordana, how many have you stayed at?
One.
Which one?
Beach.
Okay, so there you go. So I'm not gonna dignify.
I'm a fan of the moderates.
That
you know that, Bob.
statement with a response, because everything you just said is completely wrong about those resorts. They're fantastic. There's a place for them.
I think there's a big difference too, though, Bub, with going as a family, right? When me and you used to go to Disney,
if I go with my kids, if I went with Megan, it would either be
you would say the cheapest resort.
Cheapest resort, but I think you guys are completely missing the point on, especially a place like Riverside or Coronado Springs, which is a beautiful resort. And I mean, Jesus, French Quarter is the smallest, most intimate experience you can have at a Disney hotel on property. And for you to sit there and tell me that they're not worth it is just incredible.
Well, I agree, right, Bub? And for me, my kids want to go in the pool every single day we go on vacation. So for me, a moderate resort alone, having a nicer, bigger pool with slides and water features.
Pool option.
We have the freaking pirate ship tower. It's like you're going to a water park every time you go to the resort. So I do agree. It really depends on my situation. If I was going by myself or with my wife, you're right. I'd either splurge for like a really nice room, or I would just say, F it, I want the cheapest possible room. Put me at an all-star. I don't care. I'm not even going to be at the resort. I'm going to be at the resort 8 hours a day.
But that is the concept here. It's an unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. I really don't even know if I wrote this right. Anyways, I'm going to say it has nothing to do with the resort itself. I'm going to go back to Poly for a second. I'm going to say that the Polynesian may have the best resort food options on property between the Ohana and Trader Sam's and the lounge. I think there's a lot of options going on there where it's all fantastic eatery foods for a resort.
I have to disagree.
That's
I think Contemporary has the best. Have you ever eaten at the Wave?
Yes, I forgot. They have the Wave and Cali Grill. That's true.
Cali Grill. Plus, they have Contempo Cafe with all those sweet treats.
They all have those.
I'm not even talking Chef Mickey. They also have character dining.
Chef Mickey's blows.
But they have character dining, so that checks off that.
I can't wait for this. I'm going to tell you right now, the Polynesian, the Contemporary, and the Grand Floridian collectively suck and blow as hotels. They're garbage. The three of them are trash. And I can't believe I'm sitting here with three of you. Well, two of you love Polynesian, and the other one would just assume.
Listen, I've never even stayed at the Polynesian. So I obviously don't love it that much.
Those three resorts are garbage.
All I'm saying about the Polynesian is I enjoy their breakfast. They have a fantastic dinner ceremony that you can go to. And if you want to just hang out and go to Trader Sam's, it's a fantastic place to hang out and have some cocktails.
Location-wise, it's probably best. Food-wise, I'm going to tell you right now that Animal Kingdom Lodge.
I was just going to say,
it's not even close.
100%.
It's not even close. Lodge. And I wouldn't eat any of those restaurants.
It's close.
But
and Poly is close to it. Yeah. But
Animal Kingdom Lodge has everything, Drew, that you just said it does, that Poly has. I mean,
it's in the middle of nowhere.
It's in the middle of nowhere. I don't
that point of view. Anyways, resorts, folks, that are heating.
Yeah, I have one more for resorts. It's going to shock the world if you guys were all set.
Yeah.
Universal's hotels, compared to Disney's category to category, are light years ahead of where Disney is.
I think that's going to be a Universal versus Disney episode. We'll have to save that one.
Light years. I don't know if it's unpopular or not. I guess if you're a Disney hardo, then yes, it is unpopular. But Universal's resorts far and away exceed what Disney does. And we'll get into it, Drew. You're absolutely right with the companies that own the resorts at Universal is entirely different than what Disney does. I understand that. So we'll touch on that. But Universal's resorts are far and away better value for the money.
Yes.
Better location. Just far and away better than Disney's resorts.
All right, folks. We have 5 more categories left. We're going to now move into the actual parts itself. And let's start off with Animal Kingdom. Tim, the floor is yours.
All right. Pandora at Night sucks. It's wildly overrated. The glow paint looks really tacky and like glow paint instead of bioluminescence unless you hit it right after they've done like the monthly repainting they have to do because that paint is super volatile. And at night, because the lighting is quote unquote natural, you totally miss all the incredible feats of Imagineering that actually make that land impressive and immersive and like awe-inspiring. And everybody talks about, Pandora at night, that's what made it a all-day park. That's blah, blah, blah. No, it sucks. You could miss it. I could care less about ever going there at night.
Tim, is your stripe background Pandora at night?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure.
That was why I chose that.
Fantastic. Well done, Drew. Well done.
I disagree. I don't feel that way, Tim. But
why it's unpopular.
Bob, what do you got?
Animal Kingdom is the best theme park in the world. I don't mean Walt Disney World. I mean it is the best theme park in the world.
It says on my paper, unpopular opinion, perfect as is. That's it. I agree. It is perfect, except Dino Land.
Yeah, the handle there. Best theme park in the world. It's barely close.
It even has rides that I don't enjoy, but I get that they're needed and they're perfectly designed. That's my only one I have for Animal Kingdom, but I agree. Jordana?
Flight of Passage is overrated.
No, that's unpopular.
Now, if you want to say Navi River Journey, but Flight of Passage is not overrated.
It is overrated. It is. I don't know.
How many times have you experienced Flight of Passage?
Oh, at least half a dozen.
Do you do it? I mean, you need to immerse yourself. You need to make sure your legs are. You got it's the whole fucking experience.
I know, and I'm there
all
times. But I just don't think for people that, and originally, I mean, it hasn't been as bad now, but for people that would wait like 3 hours to ride it, like that.
I wouldn't wait 3 hours for anything. That's the first problem.
True. Yeah.
You know, if you wait that long for any attraction, I guarantee it's going to be a letdown.
I've heard people come up to me and say, "Hey, we're going to go to Disney World. We've heard that we have to ride Flight of Passage no matter what the wait is." And I've said, absolutely not. Don't do that. Make sure to rope drop it or go at the end of the night. Like it's just not. Yeah.
But I don't think you wait that long for any. I truly believe if you're spending that long at an attraction, one, you waste your money on going on a trip. I truly feel like it can't be that's a quarter of or a third of your day.
Yeah.
You know, that's a third of your day if you have kids. You're not spending much more than 9 hours in the parks if you have kids. Like it's just
I'm barely doing that myself.
I know. That's just a lot, you know. You can't do that in my eyes, but I that's not your fault. But it is not overrated.
That is my
unpopular opinion. That's the point of the
You're
show. Unpopular opinion. That's part of the show.
That is my
Anyone have anything else for Animal Kingdom?
I got one more.
One more. If Tim, Tim, you can go ahead, Tim.
All right, mine is that ride to ride. If you take out the queue and the pre-shows out of Rise of the Resistance, the ride Rise of the Resistance is worse than Flight of Passage. Flight of Passage is the best ride on property.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's actually that close.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. I've been on Rise of the Resistance, but knowing
I've been on Rise of the Resistance 4 times.
Yeah,
100%. I think Flight of Passage, the ride, is better than Rise of Resistance.
Hey, Joanna, put this poll up too. Put that poll up too. I know that the people let the voice be heard.
I don't disagree, Tim. Again, I think it fits with the whole storytelling of Avatar in general. You and your Banshee, it's literally putting you in the movie. And again, I'm not saying other attractions don't put you in the movie. I'm not saying that, but
It's the closest thing to VR and total experience that we've had in a theme park ride.
It's just it's. I agree.
I mean,
Bob, you said
it's no Terminator 2 3D across time.
But, God, here we go.
It's close, Tim. It's close.
4D.
It did not have a series of Kenner action figures rebranded and sold across the entire country for a theme park ride in Florida.
Bob,
so I am going to tell you that this is my least favorite attraction at Animal Kingdom, but I respect what it does. Rafiki's Planet Watch and Affection section is a well done little area of the park, and I think you're missing out if you don't go to it. At least once.
I feel like it used to be better, but they still do. It's still solid. It's still a solid experience. And they have the learn to draw and stuff like that too, right? Yeah, It's
just so kind of lost. I just think people don't even think about it because it's just
there,
out there. You know, you
I'll
can
tell you what, that whole area.
Train.
I even still to today get a little bit confused, right? When you have like the 2 nature walks, you have the safari, you have
the 2 nature walks on opposite sides of the park, but.
That's my point. Sometimes I forget, like, wait, was this the Gorilla Falls? Or was this... It's just...
I'll tell you, Drew, it's a valid point. When we went the last time, I don't think it was with you. I think the time I went in December, when we went on Colorado River Rapids, I never realized in relation to where you get on Colorado River Rapids where the Gorilla Falls... It's very odd in that back corner. I don't disagree with that.
I don't know why. I think it all blends in, and you're looking at the monkeys, and you're getting your alcoholic Dole Whip, and you're like, where the hell am I? And then you kind of get a little lost over there. But anybody else? Animal Kingdom? No. Okay. Epcot. Who wants to lead it off? Jordana.
Mission Space. It's got to go.
You know what? You just don't like these immersive attractions.
It's got to go.
They can't. They got Space 220 opening at some point in the next decade.
Yeah, they hung their hat all up on that. Your new premier dining location of 20 years from now is attached to that ride.
Keep this as an unpopular opinion that people don't like that ride, because then for me, Tim, and Bob, we can get in there faster and get out faster.
I mean, we do. I mean, the ride's never much longer than 20 minutes.
You can keep riding it. I'll go do other stuff. I'll go drink.
I will.
It's got to go. It's
Bob.
Awful.
Epcot needs more attractions.
I think
right now, today, they need. And maybe that's not unpopular, but I mean, if it's got to be IPs, it's got to be IPs. I don't care at this point. They need something in that park. It's incredible. It's incredible.
I'm going to parlay that, and I'm going to be blunt. I don't like Epcot. Simple as that. It's just it doesn't get me excited.
I knew that was coming.
I mean, I'll be honest. My favorite part is the seas.
That's a good pavilion.
It's a great pavilion. I don't know. I mean, are you honestly the World Showcase? If I skip that,
I got the World Showcase.
Well, this just got real fucking unpopular, folks.
I don't know. I think it depends who you ask. I mean, I truly, you try bringing kids around there. It's tough. They don't want to stop. They don't want to explore a pavilion. They don't want to do that shit.
Well,
they want to go on Frozen and get the hell out of there. That's what they want to do.
It's like robbing a bank. You don't stand there and hold the money in front of the teller. You just take it and go.
That's by fact. That's and I'm talking about Epcot for the last 10 years, let's say.
Yeah.
Prior to that, it's a different story. Whatever, we all know that. The last 10 years, Epcot. Obviously, I don't skip it, but it's almost skippable.
Mm-hmm.
Almost.
That's
what I'm going to leave it at.
I think we should let Tim go.
All right. Mine actually kind of paves off your, 10 years ago. The actual vision of what Future World is intended to be is impossible. So it should have been served to be an immaculately preserved time capsule of late 70s, early 80s futurism. So the idea that Epcot is always, or Future World is always going to represent what is next in this world for technological innovation, Disney is never going to update things quickly enough for that to actually work. So instead, the original spirit of Epcot should have been preserved almost like a time capsule,
Can we just all agree the original Epcot is dead, right? That the whole theory of Walt's vision of Epcot, it's dead. Fair. It's never coming.
I mean,
it was dead from day one.
Yeah, once Walt died, it was never going to be the Epcot that he wanted. I mean, that was
correct. But that vision and the nostalgia, unfortunately, people did it out of their head. It's now just a fourth gate that they're bringing IPs into left and right. That's it. Frozen, Ratatouille, Nemo, Moana, Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, it's just going to be IP. And to Bub's point, they have to continue that, right? Mary Poppins, supposedly. Who knows if that's ever going to happen anymore?
That's probably not happening.
And I'll be happy about that, as we talked about earlier. But yeah, Jordana, did you have a comment there?
No. Nope.
Okay, well, folks.
I got nothing.
Epcot. Anybody else that I skipped?
I've got 2 more
Okay.
if no one else has anything.
I have nothing.
I got 3 more actually for Epcot. I'm sorry.
Actually, we covered it all when we said I hate Epcot.
So Figment needs to be brought out back behind his pavilion and buried. That needs to happen.
Like buried alive? Can they
Get
shoot
out.
him first?
No,
at least?
here it is. Here it is. If they're going to insist on keeping that pavilion in the state that it's in, they need to get Figment out of it. That's it.
You brought up a good point, I think, in general, where the nostalgia of the classic Disney attractions, people, you can't touch it, you can't do that. It's classic.
It's bigger here than almost anywhere else on property.
It needs to end. It takes nothing away from Figment and what it did over the years, and all these other attractions that were nostalgia and over classics. They had their period in time, and unfortunately, we just need to let them go. Yeah. We can't just say, well, we have to keep this because. No, we don't have to keep anything. If the Speedway is trash, get rid of the Speedway. I don't care if it was Walt's dream.
Here's the thing with Epcot. Walt didn't touch any of it at the end of the day. What opened up, Walt did not touch. So this isn't one of those, oh, this was Walt's, oh, this was Walt's. The 2 attractions that you would have said were closest to Walt were probably Horizons and World of Motion, and they took those out and replaced with Mission Space and Test Track. So don't tell me that you can't take the Land Out or the Living Seas or Figment because Walt wouldn't have wanted it. Well, Walt was dead, guys. He was not there when Figment and Dreamfinder were in Epcot, and that's not the Epcot you have anymore.
So if we take Figment and we throw him in the trash, can we still merchandise off him? Because
by
that is all of
it. Go ahead. Yeah.
People go nuts for the festival merch, the AP merch for Epcot is all Figment all the time, and it sells.
Take him out, Sam. I just want him out of the attraction.
Take him out, and then 10 years from now, you introduce some freaking show over in the Captainito building about the imagination of Figment, and the world would go nuts. That's what you do. Anyways. So
I got 2 more. One very quick hitter. I liked the Epcot name and the wand on top of the ball. When they did that at the Millennium for the 2000, they changed it. I liked it. I was not nearly as offended as I was at the hat over at MGM Studios.
I like that.
I'm indifferent as I feel about Polly.
And then, Drew, here's one for you, buddy. I want characters in every pavilion of World Showcase.
100%.
And I want them, maybe not rides, I want them to be educating the kids on the country in a way that the kids are going to care about, because right now, the kids do not care about World Showcase except for 3 pavilions potentially when Ratatouille opens up. They care about France, potentially. They care about Mexico, and we all know how I feel about the Mexico ride. If they took that out tomorrow, I wouldn't care. Give us a Coco attraction in there right now, and they care about Norway. That's it.
Absolutely right. We had the luxury, or actually we were lucky enough, rather, to go to China to see Mulan, right? But we had to wait in line for like 15 minutes to see her, which was fine. But in that time, you're right, Bub. I got to show my kids. My kids asked like some cool questions, like, China culture, and I didn't have all the answers, but just for them to explore it while waiting in line.
Don't tell me, the kid caught fun stops. No, that's not what I want.
No, I don't want a macaroni necklace.
I want Mulan, maybe not a person, but I want Mulan in a garden. I want signs around her for the kids to learn, because right now the kids don't care.
Right.
They don't care about these pavilions.
And, 100%.
I like that.
Tim, you care. Jordana cares. Andrew cares. I care. Our wives might care.
Tim, like I said earlier, I would probably care if me and my wife went on a trip together, right? Or if I went with you, we wanted to have some drinks around this world and have a appetizer there and an appetizer. The fact is, those trips are kind of far in between now, and it's not happening. So I need to think about a family event when I go to these places, and Epcot right now is not that, So.
All right, but I know people get very upset when you say bring characters into World Showcase, but it needs to happen. It needs to happen now. It's done. The dream is dead.
Glad we all feel that way. Some of us, maybe. Anybody else? Epcot, last chances. Hold your breath. Moving on to Disney Hollywood Studios. And, could be a lot to be said here. But I'm going to start off by saying, I'll make it simple. Fantasmic. Best nighttime show ever created at Disney.
Yes.
Done. Period.
Well, this version of the one in California, the one in California is much better.
Well, I'm talking about Walt Disney World at the
Oh,
moment.
see, that's the best one.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's unpopular, I guess. I don't know. People
I
like
think
it.
it's better than all the Epcot shows.
It's not better than Illuminations.
Yeah, not
but
better than
Yes, it is. That's what I'm saying.
No,
it's
not.
the best nighttime show on property
But
ever.
it's not. But it's literally it's not.
It literally is. That's my unpopular opinion.
I guess.
Illuminations is boring to me.
Okay, now we're kind of delving into a whole different area.
We're out of Epcot. We're into the Hollywood studios.
I should have said Illuminations was overrated. Let's move on. Bob, what do you got?
So I've got a bunch for Hollywood studios.
I'm done. I already had one.
So Aerosmith needs to be taken out of Rock and Roller Coaster. That needs to happen. Needs to be replaced with the Twilight Zone concept to bring that whole area together. It would be a trip through the radio waves, take you back to when Orson Welles did the War of the Worlds radio program, and that would be the concept for the ride. This is not an original idea of mine. I actually read an article about this, and I was blown away at the concept. That's what needs to happen. Aerosmith was barely relevant in 1999 when this ride opened, and they're less relevant now 20 years later.
I actually had the same opinion.
Yeah. So
what if they did like something?
That is true, Tim.
Disney IP overlay, because they love doing that, and it could change to certain songs. For example, maybe one of them would be Cars, Life is a Highway. And then maybe the very next one is a different type of upbeat Disney IP song.
Don't you worry. But they'd still have to license the music from Corcoran or Rascal
people,
Flatts.
I guess, if you did that.
So you'd have to, I mean, I don't think that's ever happening.
Red original score. All right.
Right.
Fair enough. Sorry.
Tim, Jordan, do you guys have anything here?
Sorry. Mine is that the park, as it sits now today, is a perfect example of immersive theme park design with the lands, Toy Story Land, Star Wars Land, all those, the area immediately around Tower of Terror. What they need to do is shed all the remaining studio park theming and just rebrand it as a park that lets you live inside Disney film properties. So leave the Mann's Chinese Theater in the center as the centerpiece, as the hub that all these immersive lands spoke off of. But that, we don't have the great movie ride in there anymore. We have Mickey and Minnie's that immerses you in a cartoon. So get the Hollywood area all themed up. Do what you said to get Rock and Roller Coaster wrapped into that, kind of Twilight Zone area IP, and then figure out something over in the Indiana Jones and Star Tours area, and then you already have the Muppet Courtyard. Bub is eagerly trying to say something. Bub?
Tim, it's one of mine. I'm going one step further. I am raising the Muppets. I am raising Star Tours. I am raising Indiana Jones. I am raising Toy Story Land, because as far as I'm concerned, that might be the worst land they've ever created in the last 20 years. Okay? So what I'm going to do is move Pixar Studios to that other side of the park, on the other side of Echo Lake, and any expansion for Galaxy's Edge can go the other way around the back of the park. And it kind of ties into what you're doing. I'm blowing it up. I'm blowing it up. You can move Star Tours over if you wanted to, but yeah, the Muppets gone. Yeah, sorry,
Let's
Mike.
be honest.
I know, gone.
As good as Star Tours is, do we need it anymore?
I mean, I love Star Tours.
I love it too. I would be sad, but do you really need?
I would hate to lose
Star
Indiana
Wars
Jones.
simulators?
I would hate to lose Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I think Star Tours is enough of a people eater that's outside of the Galaxy's Edge chaos that it's needed in that park, that we are finally to the point where it can correctly distribute its crowds. You need something there. I think you're crazy to say, I would not have thought you were seriously to blow up the Muppets a year ago, but the Muppets are having a moment again. The Muppets are super relevant.
Yeah, I think we cycle through this at least once every 5 or 6 years, that the Muppets are hot again. In order to move Pixar to a better location that's going to encompass things besides Toy Story, it needs that much land. And I will tell you, the land that Indiana Jones is occupying right now is obscene.
Yeah.
Jordana, do you have anything here?
So I personally think, to Bub's point, Toy Story Land is too small. They should have done way more with it. And I think that they could have traded spots with Galaxy's Edge. I think Galaxy's Edge could have gone there. But personally, I'm not a big Star Wars fan, so I think that Toy Story deserved a bigger place. And I like the whole Pixar place.
Pixar is what we should have done. To Jordana's point, if we're going to go with Tim's idea of ripping down the old studio stuff, then Galaxy's Edge would have the entire side of the park from where it ends right now to go into Toy Story Land all the way down to the back of a rock and roller coaster. Yeah. So it would be plenty big enough. You would just have to take the buildings down.
You could look at it twofold, right? Star Wars brought people to the park that weren't even Disney park people, right? So the problem is if we ever created a Pixar Land, it will put asses in the seat, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to bring anybody to the parks that aren't already coming to the parks. Fair. So they were smart by bringing Galaxy's Edge. They brought non-park goers, right?
And it's only going to get worse when they open the hotel.
That will be people, exactly.
That's to be a whole different clientele, yep.
Okay. Yep. It's not going to be the families that just go to Disney every day.
What the hell is the Star Wars launch bay still open for?
Yeah.
And that Disney Junior, whatever the hell it is, the dance party and the show,
that's new.
Takes up so much space.
Good show.
And it's just over there. You could keep the Disney Junior, but you have it in these studio buildings that are gigantic. But Star Wars Launch Bay, that was like a preview center for Galaxy's Edge, and yet it's still there. We've heard nothing about, it's going to go away and become this. No, it's just still there. It's going to be there. It's probably going to be there forever. That's just how Disney does these things.
I got one more here. It's time to change the name, folks. Hollywood Studios. It's not in Hollywood. It's not a studio. Drop it. Come up with some other clever name. They pay you big bucks to do it. I'm not going to do it for you. That's it.
That's a fair point.
Fair point.
Bob, anything else?
Yeah, I got 3 for the price of 1.
Okay.
Tower of Terror is the best dark ride on property. Tower of Terror is the best thrill ride on property. Tower of Terror is the best ride on property, pound for pound.
Yes, the best thrill ride on property. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Hey, Unpopular. That's what we're here. That's what we're here for.
I'm a fan of Terror.
All right. Yeah. Everybody else? Last minute, last chance. Hollywood Studios. Good. Moving on to the one and only.
What is this, an auction?
Actually, it's not the one and only. Magic Kingdom. Woo.
Great.
Ooh, Jordana, ladies first. Lead this one off for us.
Big Thunder Mountain is way better than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
That's not even unpopular.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't think that's unpopular.
That's not
Seven Dwarfs is the kid version.
Yeah. The wait times say differently.
Well, that's because the throughput's less on Mine Train.
And it's because it's lower height requirements, I believe.
No, it's really all to do with the ride-through capacity because you can fit more trains on the track at Tomorrow and at Thunder Mountain than you can at...
Right. They have like 3 going at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim?
So Magic Kingdom has the most rides, but roughly a third to a half of them suck ass. And
Correct.
The park would be way better served by removing them and not replacing them with anything, just to allow, it's the smallest park, and that would allow for way more room for interesting theming and better traffic flow. We have all these flat rides that are just like off the shelf. Like, I get it. Keep Dumbo. It's iconic. But get rid of the stupid carpets. Get rid of the Astro Orbiter. There's just a lot of crap.
That one's awful.
The Astro Orbiter, classic.
Classic nostalgia. It's time to let it go.
Get rid of the stupid. I get what Drew said earlier. He kind of like, get rid of the stupid Speedway. We cut it in half, and now we've cut it in half again for Tron. It is a shadow of its former self, and I get that in 1950, Walt thought it was a transformative experience for a kid to drive a car on their own. But no, now it's
can't even drive it.
Yeah, and now it's just like
have to be like 4 feet tall. And for a company that's so very green and conservation, that's going to be the worst ride on the planet.
More pollution than all the highways in America combined at this point.
I'm going to go off and say the Beauty and the Beast area is probably my favorite themed area in all of Walt Disney World. I think it's fantastic. I love hanging out over there.
It's unpopular, but it's certainly not something that a lot of people say.
It's I think it's just fantastic. It's a great place to hang out over there on the bridge, and you got the Storybook and then Gaston's right over there while the kids and the family are you're doing the rider swap for Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
Bub,
I liked the 25th anniversary cake design on the castle.
I loved it.
Me too.
I liked it.
I think that's becoming one of those things like where 90s kids think that it's great now, and they're gonna start doing merch based on it soon.
Oh, great! We'll get Castle Pink stuff now, Tim. You're right.
Yep.
They'll get a Spiritures, and I'll lose my mind again.
Actually,
it'll be all decorated with like candy and stuff. It'll be terrible.
Yeah. To your point with the castle, I think another unpopular opinion is that they are underdoing the 50th anniversary. Like, it's not, like, I just feel like it's just not enough for what they're doing with the castle.
They're giving you 18 months of it.
But it's just some bows. It's just some
agree with that.
plastic
Subtle.
bows.
They just painted it, guys. What do you want them to do? They just spent 14 years redoing this castle, the foreground.
I agree, Jordana.
I don't know what you guys expected.
I want a pink cake.
It's a big.
I'm in for the pink cake.
Maybe
I
a blue
want
cake.
Stitch to throw toilet paper on it and write Stitch was WUZ.
I want
here
something.
on it.
I agree.
Yep.
Back to you, Tim. I think it is, or me. I don't know.
It's you.
Never been on the carousel and don't plan on it.
That's a good carousel. If you like carousel, it's a good carousel.
No, that is one of my favorites.
You do it at the
rides or just
wall.
carousels? I'm just trying to figure out what you're favoriting here.
I just think it's a lot of fun. I don't know.
The carousel in general, or this one in particular?
This one in particular, it's really nicely done.
So you're not a fan of carousels outside of Disney?
No, the one at Roger Williams Park Zoo scares me. The one at Warwick Mall is worse.
Okay. Okay.
I forgot there's one in Warwick Mall.
I mean, I wouldn't go on it right now during COVID. It is open. I can confirm.
Yeah.
That,
no, I will tell you though. My
It's like
kids
right
spent
outside
many
Toy
a nights
Mall,
on
right?
that. Yeah. Yep.
That's strange.
Tim?
All right, they allow booze in the sit downs in Magic Kingdom, but not in the quick services. And there's no bar. It's just you've broken the rule. It's not a dry park anymore. Again, Walt's been dead for a million years. Quit pussyfooting around it. Like all the other parks make a ton of money. People love all the creative drinks and limited food they do around, or limited alcohol they do with the limited food. Just stop pretending like it's a dry park when you serve alcohol at all the sit-down restaurants there.
I am all in for that one.
I
mean, this is the second or third time we've referenced that Walt's been dead, folks. Let's get over it.
I mean, why can't I go to Gaston's Tavern and not get a beer?
No, you have to get frozen apple juice slush that's gross, that's
gross.
made to look like a beer.
It's gross.
It's called the
I don't think
Fuse
that's an unpopular
Brew.
opinion, that LaFuse Brew sucks. I've never heard
Drew
anybody
likes it. Drew likes it.
Do you?
It's fine. I wouldn't go out of my way. Just wanted the mug.
That is true. You're a sucker for a good mug.
The cinnamon rolls are way better.
That. Top 10.
Tomorrowland needs to be ripped down to the studs.
That goes back to Tim's point earlier.
Including Space Mountain, including Carousel of Progress. It needs to be ripped down to the studs.
That's a popular opinion.
Let me ask you this, Bob.
And replaced with Marvel.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, nope. I
You
thought we were talking about ripped down to the studs and redone.
Nope.
Yeah, you lost.
Bob, I agree. So you're saying just knock down Space Mountain.
The dream is dead.
I literally want to kick you people off of your own show.
I
No,
love Space
absolutely.
Mountain, but I
What
agree
about
with Bob.
Tomorrowland? It says tomorrow. Tim, if you want to argue that the Speedway isn't relevant anymore and the Disney Hollywood Studios name, like Drew said, isn't relevant, what about Tomorrowland says tomorrow? The Carousel of Progress has technology from 25 years ago. Space Mountain's a 60-year-old roller coaster concept.
Speedway.
The Speedway is rack and pinion steering gas-powered cars. Monsters Laugh Floor is
I'm saying
nothing.
rip it to the studs and then decide to make it some impossible vision of the future that won't.
So why
age
is it
as
okay for Magic
obviously.
Kingdom to do that, but it's not okay for Epcot to do it?
That's what I said. We should do that for Epcot. That was my point with Epcot. Epcot was that though. You just lock in the original idea of Epcot and stop trying to chase with Epcot.
So you're blaming Michael Eisner for this because initially the concept was very Buck Rogers-y and
Right.
it was very timeless, and then he brought it into now with Alien Encounter, which should be back. It's not. Should be
For
back.
sure. I mean, a better example is look at Disneyland's Tomorrowland, which is in worse shape and more of a disaster than ours in the
Hashtag
theming.
Rocket Rod's
and,
life.
And they're just like caught in between. And we kept hearing, oh, Joe Rohde's going to do it. Joe Rohde's going to do it. Well, Joe Rohde retired, and now he's Virgin Galactic's creative director. So who's going to do it? We don't know.
Tomorrowland.
But I sure as hell don't want Tomorrowland as presented by Tony Stark. Sorry.
What if it was Tomorrowland sponsored by Tesla?
I don't want to get into my Elon Musk opinions on the podcast, but I would
but
not
maybe
be
they
sold
could
on
buy
that either.
Terminator rights.
Ooh, they almost did.
Anyways, my last one here is, guys, I don't get the obsession for Jungle Cruise. I just don't get it. I don't see it. I don't think it's anything too special. I mean, I'm great. They made it a rock film, but it goes back to that outdated nostalgia. I don't want to take anything away from it. It was great. Time to move on.
It's definitely a nostalgia thing, but it's still like a must-do for me every time.
You take out the skipper. I mean, the skipper is the whole point of the ride, right? I mean, that's
Right.
if not, if you get a skipper having a bad day, you waited an hour for nothing.
Fair.
Have you ever seen how much real estate, again, because Magic Kingdom is a small park, go on Google Maps and take a look at how much real estate Jungle Cruise actually takes up. You will be shocked.
That and the treehouse over there. You take
Yep,
those
both of those
down. You could build Galaxy's Edge.
A third, more than a Galaxy Edge. That's a third of Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
Crazy.
All right. Anybody have any other Magic Kingdom things?
I do.
Oh, of course you do.
I do.
He wants to.
And
then-
I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to leave the call.
Well, no, don't leave the call yet.
Because what I'm about to say to you is going to upset all three of you. This is the one.
Well, the way you upset me is Peter Pan, but I already know you hate it.
This is the one. The Haunted Mansion is the singular most overrated attraction on Disney property.
I agree with you.
And it's not even close.
I agree, actually. I'm a
It's
massive
not
fan,
even
and
close.
Overrated, yes. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. I agree.
No, it is the singular most overrated. I just the people there are almost as bad as the Spirit Jersey Militia. With they gotta have this, they gotta have that. I love the attraction. It's very near and dear to my heart. The singular most overrated attraction on Disney property.
Now that's one attraction will never. If I had to say you have a $1 million bet, you only can pick one attraction never leaving. That would be my vote.
I mean, in what form? Like, do we ever get a Phantom Manor overlay or anything like that, or just how it is? It's never going to change.
I just don't think it's ever changing as the Haunted Mansion. I just think they're never knocking it down.
You're right. I mean, it's an opening day attraction.
It's just also it's so unique from the other. You have to just knock it down, and it's not a shit ton of land. I mean, I know it goes back quite a bit, but I mean, it's not a dark ride, right? I mean,
I would honestly take the entirety of Liberty Square. Much as I love Liberty Square, it's between the Hall of Presidents, that and the Riverboat and Tom Sawyer Island. I mean,
that's
you could
a lot of plans.
Yeah. You put Marvel there too.
So much stuff.
I'm all in on the Marvel IPs coming to the parks.
Maybe make that Doctor Strange ride. Yeah. Anyways, anybody else? Magic Kingdom.
I waited all night for that. Yeah. And you guys like, yeah, no, it's not a bad point.
Yeah.
I want to open it up to other category where if there's anything else we didn't cover, I'll lead it off, and I'm going to say Disney Springs is no longer a must visit for me. It's no longer I must go to Disney Springs when I go. When it was downtown Disney and there was Disney Quest, and I feel like there was better shops. There was just more to do. There was Pleasure Island to walk through.
Unique.
It was very more unique. Yeah. Now it's a factory
shopping mall.
Really nice restaurants.
Yeah. Yep. The only reason I disagree with you is that I usually go there to try a new restaurant that I haven't tried before. So that's the only thing.
Well, my point is that's not a must. I don't disagree that they have good restaurants, but you can find good restaurants all over the world. I could never find Disney Quest anywhere else in the world. I couldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Disney shops and the marketplace is almost a ghost town. And even the Disney shops, the World of Disney and all those things, you could get them pretty much in any park or even at like your hotel resort now. Or Shop Disney to Bub's point earlier. So it's coming. It's becoming. I don't need to dedicate a whole day to Disney Springs or downtown Disney like I used to.
Not a whole day, a couple hours if that.
Tim?
Disney this is kind of overall parks Disney experience. Disney keeps raising the prices, and everybody complains about it. And I guess this is kind of like my privilege showing, but they're not just doing that arbitrarily. They're doing that because that's what the market bears. And if that's what it costs to keep the level of what you expect from Disney and things to keep improving them, keep building new stuff, then so be it. You know, that's just the cost of doing business. It's the cost of it's supposed to be a certain thing, and you have to pay for that.
All right.
Anybody have any other unpopular opinions they want to bring up?
I know it's unpopular, but I would close Saratoga Springs right now and reopen it as a Disney Institute once again. Oh, it's unpopular, but that's what I would do with it. I would make it very interactive to give people an opportunity to do that type of thing again, where they were doing like the classes. I mean, it's a different type of Disney trip. You wouldn't go to the parks, I don't think. You'd go as like a retreat center.
Could you mark that down for an episode, Disney Institute?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about it a couple of times in terms of trying to do it, and I just don't know that we've ever come to the agreement on how we would do it. So
that's fair.
It's a kind of astounding in a world of master classes and gurus and all the sort of stuff that people are extremely into right now, and experiences over things as a defining feature of 25 to 40-year-olds right now, that Disney is not moving in that direction. That attracts a whole group of people who would never go on a Disney vacation, where if you could get some of the people that only Disney could get to teach classes in a setting like that, you would have a whole new clientele who is going to spend buku money to go on classes like that.
Right.
Maybe it's not unpopular, but that's what they should do.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
All right. Open it up before I close out, guys. Anything else here? All right. Well, Tim, Jordana, Bub, I want to thank you guys for staying up late on this lovely Monday night, day after daylight savings time. That is going to wrap up episode 104, Unpopular Disney Opinions. And as always, check out our show notes for all of our links to all of our social media pages, Patreon, and all that other good stuff, merchandise. And thanks for listening, as always, to the Disney Guys Uncensored.
After careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park.